I will say to you too that yesterday I think I was just going down like a YouTube rabbit hole, and for the first time I saw any interview with Jack Kirby where I kind of heard it.
Yes. Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across the internet airwaves is the doctor himself. You stop doing that. You did that for Ghostfacers. Can't handle this. This is the worst thing the pandemic had ever wrought.
Yeah. And I don't have anything more than that.
God, it really takes us off our game, doesn't it?
Oh, my energy is completely off from what it normally is. I'm in isolation right now because my daughter's daycare has been shut down because there's a COVID outbreak in the Yukon. And I've been trying to work from home, me and my wife, and dealing with our daughter who's also home. And then we had to go get her tested. It's been a day.
So how did she handle the getting tested?
Oh, terribly. But the nice thing was it wasn't like the full up the nose thing. For, I guess, little kids, they could do something that's a little less invasive as like a first test. And then if that one came back positive, then they would have to do like the full one.
Oh, okay.
Again, I'm not sure why these things exist that are convenient for kids that we couldn't get as adults. Like, do the easy one on me too.
Yeah.
And if it comes back positive, give me the bad one. Like,
yeah, it was weird that it's rectal for you.
Well, I requested that.
They're like, we could get to your mouth through there, but it's going to be not good.
It's in Canada. You can request government services in either English or French, and you can also request COVID tests either nasally or anally.
Yeah, all like tests and medications, and yeah.
Oh yeah, any test like a math exam, you can take that anally.
You know what I mean? Good Lord.
I think we're back. My energy's back, baby.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's not so bad having to do 3 jobs at once.
Oh boy.
Well, each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Did we really do all that banter before finishing the intro?
Yeah, because that's the first time that's happened.
No, we're normally so like focused, like a laser.
Rigid on our segments.
I mean, I am.
I mean, some of our staff got rigid today when you brought out that fucking Aquaman toy.
Yeah, that not the reaction I was expecting.
No, that took a hard turn. We got a review.
Hey,
look at that. A 5-star review, number 119 from Apple Podcasts USA, from Mullet Overlord.
Oh, my liege.
Yes. Thouest liege of PBR. With the subject of Alfred Rises.
Every morning before the cock of the crow.
Sometimes Alfred rises when he is presented with an opportunity to create maybe a superhero that he had been preparing for.
Even just the idea of killing a couple of parrots in an alley rises me. I'm getting risen just thinking about it.
You wouldn't believe what my back cave is like.
I rise up and then enter the back cave.
Oh, no. They go on to say, great podcast with well-informed and respectable hosts.
we couldn't have introed that better.
Okay. Who have the best and most nuanced pitch for Alfred Pennyworth origin.
Wow, I feel like we did ourselves a disservice by doing any sort of commentary.
God, we were so nuanced.
That's often what we're accused of, playing things too subtly.
Yeah. You know what else is like hold on, I'm getting there. Hold on.
I mean, I hope this accent lands somewhere because right now I'm about 80% sure it's racist. Don't know against who, but I'm positive that it is.
I think a swamp is nuanced.
Oh my God, Shrek Morrison.
like an onion.
It's Shrek Morrison. They're back. Oh my God. Straight from the sphere of the gods, donkey.
You know what else is nuance? When I take a crap.
Into the overvoid where the presence is.
I always get the Shrek part, but I always forget how to tie it into Morrison.
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of the reason why you're here, we've got a segment. It's time to get into the news. Is it not a segment?
Way to fucking pump fake introducing the news.
I didn't say we had a new segment. I just said we have a segment.
I know, but
like every week, time to get into the segment.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the news.
I love how much of your job in the real world is like you have to make like cogent presentations and describe your process and guide people through like brainstorming and like branding and all of these like really important things. And then you've clearly like spent all of your linear thought. And then we get here that it's like, we got a segment. That segment is where we talk about the things that are new. It's the news.
Welcome to new information, or as I like to call it, the news. I mean, especially today, because I had like a long shoot. We had a very long meeting this morning. I've been in back-to-back meetings the entire day. Yeah,
those can burn you out.
I'm completely washed. And then last week I had 2 big discovery meetings, so I'm just like, my brain is complete mush by this. And I'm not expelling the good brain energy on this podcast.
No, I'd say you have bad brain energy. You got a lot of BBE.
Oh yeah. Let's get into the news.
We're already here. I did the thing. I'm not doing it again.
This is a part where we just talk about the first piece of information.
Jesus Christ. Is this going to be more about the Jared and Jensen thing?
DC removed Zack Snyder cut of Batman going down on Catwoman.
Yeah, during the hashtag Bats Eat Cats sort of fiasco, Snyder posted an image, and I'm not even sure I know who the artist was that did it. It definitely wasn't Snyder, but
regardless,
some artist did a rendering of Batman eating Catwoman's pussy. Very tasteful.
Like, was this?
I mean, it wasn't explicit. It was like it's like she's lying down, but her face is near like the.
Is it commissioned artwork though, or is it from something?
I mean, it existed. Like for him to post. Now, did somebody because of this whole thing, or did someone like my fanfic is finally relevant?
Because he was like, it's canon, and I'm like, okay, does that mean that it was posted somewhere?
But I think he's just saying like unless I'm missing something where it's like from some sort of insane Snyderverse tie-in comic or something. I'm pretty sure he's just saying it's canon, just in terms of him like weighing in just to be part of the conversation. But then it was taken down for copyright infringement. Like Warner Brothers was like, Snyder, you can't do that.
So funny. I'm like, I think if anything, you've told Snyder that he can do whatever the hell he wants.
It's
you know, now in like 5 years we're gonna get like a comic all about pussy eating from Zack Snyder because people are gonna beg for it. Release I want to see the rest of the book.
Yeah, release the Lingus cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny. It's just the ongoing high school drama between Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder. Where, like, at first they were like, and you get to do your Snyder cut. And that was after all of the drama with it. And then he was like, they don't want anything to do with my Snyderverse after this one, even though they let me finish the movie that normally no one gets to finish when they're fired.
Yeah.
How come they don't want to keep working with me, even though I've been like smack talking them, rightfully so or not, for years? And then he was like, you know what? I can have fun with this Batman thing. I've got opinions, and he definitely eats puss. And then they're like, oh, but our cease and desist. Sorry.
Insane.
I love it. It's just all of it is so petty. It's kind of incredible.
Oh, 100%. What's even more interesting is that I've got another piece of news. DC confirms Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy go down on each other.
I think that's as part of that comic series that's like an extension of the Harley Quinn cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, I love that. Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. You think they wouldn't?
I know. It's insane. I just love it so much because I think
DC probably also was just like, listen, we really misplayed our hand with the heroes don't eat puss comment. We've got to do some damage control. Let them have Harley and Ivy.
Yeah, they're not heroes at least.
Yeah, maybe that's the. Yeah, do you know who does? Black Adam does.
Yeah.
But
not Shazam.
Superman? No. Shazam? No, of course not.
Yeah,
the Shazam one gets into weird territory with the being a kid thing.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, I don't love it.
You and I want to do when I get big.
Oh, no. I mean, the movie Big is problematic for this very reason.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not this very reason, but a similar reason.
Yeah, that's a really weird scene they cut out.
Yeah, you know those Tootsie Pop commercials? It's just like that.
Yeah, you just see like a close-up of Tom Hanks' face. He's like, I gotta do what? Where?
Good Lord. That's so messed up. Ugh.
All right, moving on. Titans Season 3 teaser. Oh my God.
Did you watch it?
I did. There looks like
what do you think? Are you excited?
There's so much action this season, it looks like.
Do you know what surprised me in this teaser is like, I was like, they're going to come up with some way. Jason Todd's just going to be like upset and then he'll become the Red Hood. And then that teaser was like definitively like, at the very least, if he doesn't die, he gets beaten with a crowbar.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Cause I was like, wait, are they going to do the Jason Todd thing? Are they going to kill him?
I know, but like turn it around in like 2 episodes. Like, I think the Lazarus bits are involved in general. So maybe that's part of that and how they bring Donna Troy back and some stuff like that. But yeah,
like, this is getting like we're finally
I'm into it. It looks fast. It looks like there's more action. I like the costumes. I'm digging it.
It looks excited. Like there's like some deep lore stuff they're bringing in, like actual real comic shit. Yeah, we're getting more Bruce. It looks like.
Yeah, a little bit. We're getting Blackfire, of course.
Yeah.
We're getting Scarecrow at some point as well.
The action like look top notch. Like we're actually finally getting back into like the stuff that we got glimpses of in season 1.
Yeah, I mean that was the best parts of season 1 was like with the nuclear family after them and stuff like that. Like this I'm pumped. Again, you know, I think they also released like what all of the episode names were and like when they're coming out. I think there's 13 episodes this season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, next. Wendy's tweets out a world weary Watchmen meme. Did you see this?
Yeah, it was like the classic Manhattan meme, but they did it with the Wendy's logo, but blue with the symbol, and it was like, I tire of these burgers, they're whatever.
This is exactly what it is. I am tired of lunch. These clowns. I'm tired of people caught in the freezers of their beef.
Yeah, which sounds like the sort of insane pop culture thing I would pitch at work.
Yes, you did today.
I did. I pitched a barbecue mashup with of Liam Neeson called Stakin', where he says he has a very particular set of grills.
Yeah, I know you've been watching too much Fast and the Fury when one of your pitches was hashtag justice for ham.
Yeah. Oh, I should have pitched I don't have friends, I have Hamily. Fuck.
What's crazy to me is that everybody else but us wanted sausage to me.
I really liked Sausage.
I can't believe it. Nobody else wanted it. I was like, how are we the only ones that want this? I was like, oh, this is a problem.
The one that I didn't pitch today was an even more niche thing because I had the song Mistake by Serial Joe stuck in my head. And I was like, can I use that but replace it with Real Steak?
What's bad is that I think that's good and I'm your boss. And so it's just this like echo chamber between the two of us.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the crazy ideas are fun, but today was an off day for that. But yeah, I did see that Wendy's thing because then DC like responded also with like a Watchmen quote or something, and then Wendy's responded back. My favorite comment on the whole thing was someone took the whole exchange and then quote tweeted it with like a picture of Alan Moore looking angry. Which is like, this is exactly the shit that he hates DC for.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he can't stand that shit.
Oh man.
All right, next. Comixology announces they are closing the DC Comics app.
Oh, right. Yeah, the DC Comics had its own app for a bit where you could get they also had a site. It was like Read DC Entertainment or readdc.com or something like that. And it was sort of like a sub site that was only the DC content, but it still used, I think, like the Comixology engine. So I think they're just saying, just go to Comixology. That's all it is. They already shut down the browser things. I already had to make that move to Comixology.
Oh, really? Okay. Do you think that this will have implications on like the DC Universe app though? Like, do you think we're still like when they finally gets released here, we're going to get access to the comics still? And
I think you are being very optimistic if you think that Canada is ever getting DC Universe Infinite.
Oh,
I think they don't give enough of a shit about us for that. We've got Comixology, and I think they're just going to let us have that.
I would give them so much money, though, all of the time.
I would too for that catalog and stuff, but yeah, I don't see it happening.
That's bullshit.
I hope I'm wrong, but you know,
I don't like this. This is terrible. All right.
They don't seem to be in any hurry to actually make like HBO Max available up here. The thing that would actually make money. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
I can't imagine they'd overly prioritize this other thing.
Crazy. Final piece of news. Smallville's star announces animated show with original cast.
I mean, he announced it like in a private cameo to someone.
Really?
Where he's like, me and Rosenbaum are trying to put it together. We're trying to use like as much of the original cast as we can. Don't tell anyone yet. The person like immediately posted online. I mean, he wouldn't have said it if it wasn't at least a little bit of a thing he could say. But yeah, I think it's the very few non-details we have out of it is it'd be like a sequel series, but animated, and yeah, bring back something like that main voice cast, which I would assume would include like Justin Hartley, like as Oliver Queen, and like some of those people. I assume it doesn't include the Nexium cult.
Oh no!
Mack. I'm assuming she's not in it, but
I also don't think she's necessary either.
Erica Durance as Lois Lane would probably be one of the key ones. Yeah,
like Jensen, maybe
from his character in season 4.
Yeah.
Let's catch up with that coach that was sleeping with students. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah, I bet he's
Deathstroke now.
Oh my god, maybe. Can I tell you, I'm really excited for this.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
because you were kind of like about like the whole, like I'd say last 6 seasons of Smallville.
Yeah, but I think that cast is really good.
Yeah, sure.
And I love Rosenbaum as Lex.
Yeah, he is a terrific Luthor.
Yes. So I think that for me, it's like, it's an opportunity to like, my guess is that it's just going to be a straight up Superman show.
I guess. Listen, if they don't keep that Remy Zero, somebody save me riff at the top, I'm not watching.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, I will burn the entire show to the ground. That's what they're going to be singing because I'm burning them to the ground.
Could you imagine the irony of that? They're just in the building going, somebody say.
God, that would have been really good. We should have put that on the show.
You could have done this earlier.
That's just why this is happening.
Jesus Christ. So dark. Okay, so but you're pumped for this. You want this to be real and to be happening and to be now.
I kind of am. Yeah. I my guess is if it's a sequel, then it would just be him as Superman because that's where it ended. Like,
and we're getting some good Superman content right now. I'm all for more of it. You know, get it. I gotta catch up. Good is my opinion generally.
I gotta catch up with Lois and Clark.
Oh man, some crazy stuff's been happening over there.
Yeah, are you still all the way caught up?
Oh yeah, baby.
Cool. Well, that was the last piece of news.
All right, that's it. We'll see you next week.
Nope. Oh, we have.
Are you saying that we have a segment? Are you saying we have a segment?
We have a segment. The theme of the show, where we, take questions and answer them.
That's right. This is the episode where
you've been waiting for.
The theme that won the Fanagar Tournament of Pandering, multiple rounds of voting on Twitter and on our Patreon, and it all came down to this.
We would have done it anyways because you love this character.
You selected the theme of this episode. Can't wait. What is it?
Do you want to flip a coin to see if I answer?
Can we flip a coin to see if we do this episode? Fun fact, it's Two-Face rules, motherfuckers.
Could you imagine what a huge fuck you it would have been?
You're like, how is this episode like 20 minutes long?
Oops. No, we still release just dead air so they can't guess.
It's just one long beat tone.
And they think like maybe it'll get to it by the end, so they keep skipping through.
That's truly evil. I love that.
It feels like a thing we would do.
It does, actually. Yeah.
This
episode, we are talking about Guy Gardner.
Yes. The male green thumb. Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, who I have said so many times on this podcast, is one of my favorite Green Lanterns. I am so excited that we're doing this episode. I can't wait to talk Guy Gardner. I've been begging you guys for years to let me talk about Guy Gardner, and you monsters always deny me. And finally, this year, I get what I always wanted. We're talking about this amazing Green Lantern, this well-rounded character that nobody has a negative opinion about. We finally can just share the love for Guy Gardner.
Oh, wow. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I smoked so much weed before this.
Hey, look, you got to go watch your kid. You got no choice.
And I took a bunch of ecstasy. I'm ready to love Guy Gardner.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's the only type of planting you like.
Drugs?
No, Guy gardening.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say planting drugs on people I'm arresting.
You're not a cop, yeah.
Oh, are you supposed to be?
I mean, probably not.
Citizen's arrest.
All right, let's get into the questions.
Sure, let's do it.
Which means they're going over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from Braydon. Yes, the donkey rises. Who asks, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room? Guys,
lost a bunch of weight. Fuck you.
I mean, not enough.
Well, shit. Jesus.
Guys' rapport with women. Power Girl and Mary Marvel, to name just two. What do you think a Justice League HR meeting with Guy about his behavior would be?
Okay. Is it like JLA Secret Files or something like that? There's a series of panels that I have kind of in my head, and I'm positive part of it is Guy being like, "Whoa, hey, Jugs," or whatever to Power Girl. And I'd say 80% sure that I remember a scene where she's knocked out and a little angel and devil appear on his shoulder and tell him whether or not he should go for it.
Oh,
which
no.
is despicable.
Oh, no.
I feel like I've read that. I might be like way off. Maybe I just read someone's weird fanfic or something, but I'm about 80% sure that is a real canonical exchange that happened in a DC comic.
Oh, God, no.
I can't remember what the Mary Marvel thing is, but I've got to assume it's at least a little bit gross. Because Mary Marvel, like Shazam, she's older than Billy is, but that's still not great. Yeah, I mean, Guy's rapport with women, he's got a lot of like, I think he's a lot of talk is the real thing with Guy. I think he talks a big game. It makes me think of a little bit like, on like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like the Pimento and Rosa thing where they start flirting, and then there's the one episode where she's like, so are we doing this? And then he goes like, no, and he like runs away. Like, yes. I think there's a little bit of that energy in Guy Gardner too, right? Like, I think he runs his mouth. I think he talks a big game, but I think push comes to shove, he's not this weird comic I'm remembering aside, he's not truly despicable. I mean, is he disrespectful to women? Yes, canonically, because if you say those things, whether or not you follow up on them, that's bad. But like, I do think it's like one of those kind of like psychological coping mechanism sort of things. Like I think he's capable of sweetness and things like that, but he is deliberately difficult to get to know and to open up emotionally, right?
Sounds like my kind of guy.
So what, I mean, you're a boss. What do you think this HR meeting would look like if you, let's say you're Snapper Carr, you're running admin for the Justice League, you have to call Guy Gardner in to talk about his behavior?
I'd be like, look, you need to make an apology, and then we're just going to sweep this under the rug.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Good Lord.
I mean, who are they going to believe?
We're going to do the apology tour. You're going to be on The View.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. You got to do a few courses for the Teen Titans. You're fine.
Yeah. You run a couple of missions with the Birds of Prey for the publicity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good Lord. That's so cynical. That's like a true, like, The Boys kind of answer. That's like a VOT international answer to this.
Are you trying to tell me that working in marketing has jaded me?
Actually, somehow yours is more cynical, because in the show, The Boys, at least, VOT fully sacks the Deep. Like, they get rid of him. You're not pitching. You're pitching something worse than the evil corporate overlord of the cynical superhero deconstruction.
Look, we got a star player here. We can't be losing championships.
Good Lord. Oh my God. Got a real insight into your management style there.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the beginning of it.
Oh no.
All right, next question comes from our favorite religious representative,
Chris Chan.
That's right, the one and only, who asks, why was Guy Gardner the third podcast host in the first place? Can we give him back? # bring Colin back? Are they saying that Guy Gardner is Colin?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I would pay good money to see him have that haircut.
Especially because, he really cherishes his hair. That would be good.
Yeah, no, sorry. Guy was never involved with the podcast. I think it would be. I mean, Guy in the early days might have fit in back before HR called us in to talk to us about how we were doing the podcast. He probably would have fit in back then.
Maybe like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. I think he probably chummed around with. Professor Hardy. I could see that.
Who?
It's the sorry, I just got like a weird flash of memory. Is that not a real thing? Oh, jeez.
Oh, are the timelines settling?
I'm sowing the seeds for Crisis for year 5.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we haven't done it yet.
Can we get him back? Oh, I do just want to say the thing we did get back from this is Chris Chan posted this, and then I think it was Rick to the E posted a hashtag bring Colin back no. It had been a long time since we had one of those classic hashtag yes, hashtag no situations.
Wow.
I think
I have to actually
like
appreciate the hashtag no's now. Oh no.
I know. Now it's like, oh man, you went back and listened.
You poor fool.
You went back and listened to episode 4, hashtag laser yes.
Oh God. Yeah, we named an episode that. Blah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Let's go to the next question. From Martin Sanchez. I know you're not the biggest fan of Guy.
Sorry, before you do this question, I just have to point out how deliberately you whited up your voice there. I could feel you pulling back from going Martin Sanchez. I could feel you going, Martin Sanchez. You had a real honky voice going there.
From Martin Nohouse.
I see where you're going there. That's close.
Martin No Cheese, who asks, I know you're not the biggest fan of Guy, but has there ever been a moment where you thought that Guy wasn't so bad? If so, what was that moment?
I don't know why people have this impression that I don't like Guy Gardner. I mean, he's a character like any other. He's got some of his faults, but he's a nuanced, three-dimensional character that I respect and appreciate.
Wow, why is this starting to sound like that review we got in the beginning?
Or it's starting to sound like Gardner's apology PR tour.
Yes.
Like many Guy Gardner fans out there, I'm learning.
In this new era.
I ask for your patience while I adjust and work harder to appreciate what Guy brings to the table.
Please respect my family during this time.
Yeah, please respect our privacy during this time. Has there ever been a moment where I thought Guy wasn't so bad? I mean, some of the sweetest moments for Guy are when he ends up in a slight sort of mentorship position. I mean, he's a longtime member of the Green Lantern Corps. I mean, sometimes he also had this huge derailment where he was his own hero for a bit, but longtime member of the Green Lantern Corps. He's been like an Alpha Lantern or what do they call him, a Sentinel Lantern and stuff like that. Like he's gotten these big promotions. I think he's been Honor Guard and stuff like that. So I like those moments either with like younger, more rookie lanterns where he's sort of taking them under his wing. He's still very rough and tumble, but he's got this real sort of like, I got you kind of mentality. Mm-hmm. And one of the best versions of that is actually when he's a Red Lantern and Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, gets a Red Lantern ring, and he's not only taking her under the wing of the Red Lanterns and showing her how to use the ring and stuff like that, but he's teaching her how to manage her rage. He's like, Guy is like teaching her how to process emotions, which even saying the words out loud is like kind of funny, but I think that's very sweet, those kind of moments. So I mean, that's a specific one, but I think anytime that you could put Guy in a bit of like a mentor role, he's not necessarily the trainer, right? That's Kilowog, right? But when you pair them up and then Guy has to be like, listen, I've been through this, I've been under fire before, here's how we get through it, you follow me, I'll make sure that you get home, kind of thing. I like those moments from him.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Next question comes from, we just mentioned him, Rick to the E, who asks, do you think he makes a construct bowl and uses construct scissors to cut his hair?
Yeah, let's talk about his hair. Guy has had a few different hairstyles. In his very, very first appearance, way back in Green Lantern 59, in the 50s or the 60s, whenever that was, he just has this very kind of close cropped red hair. And then when he shows up, I think it's like after Crisis or something like that, when it's sort of when he's meant to have sort of like brain damage and stuff like that, they give him this insane bowl cut, which I don't know if that makes it worse.
Yeah, I don't know where that cut came from.
It's such a bad cut. I mean, I also don't. I mean, I've kind of warmed up to it a bit. I don't love his uniform, the weird double-breasted vest kind of thing. It's just such a douchey looking thing. It's perfect for his character, but it's such like a insane outfit.
You know what he looks like? He looks like a bully from the like future version from Back to the Future.
Yes, yeah, he's like Biff Gardner. Yeah, yeah, you're right. But yeah, so he had that bowl cut. I actually think his best look is when he's with the Red Lanterns. His hair kind of grows out a little bit, sort of shaggy. He has this big fuck off like trucker mustache and shit. It's a good look. I'm into it a lot. I'm actually going to pull it up so you can look at it. While I'm doing that, I want you to tell me whether or not you have ever, because you've got a pretty cool haircut. Have you ever had a haircut as bad as Guy Gardner's bowl cut?
My brother, well, one of my brothers, the one who actually listens to this show, had a bowl cut for years, like in the 90s. Oh yeah, he had like I actually don't know if it was like a bowl that was used. That'd be a good question. But he had like, at least when we were kids, he had like pin straight hair, and so yeah, he would get the like full like bowl cut. Like the mushroom cut. Yeah,
that's correct. Although that was for a time the style.
Yes.
Okay, here is what he looks like.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
He looks cool as hell there as a Red Lantern. Yeah, I actually really dig that look.
Did I?
And now he just sort of has like shortish kind of hair, like a crew cut kind of thing. Now he doesn't have the bowl cut anymore. The bowl cut was really that sort of like 80s, early 90s kind of era of things for him. He's got normal hair now, basically.
I had I grew my hair out. I had like a hockey thing for a long time, and then I grew it out even longer. But beyond that, I mean, you know what I had for grade 8 graduation, I got highlights into my like Caesar haircut.
Oh yeah, the frosted tips. Yeah. I definitely had that. I also had a Caesar.
yeah, frosted tip Caesar. That was like basically the 1998 haircut. Yeah,
as was the style.
Yeah. So I did that. That was pretty stupid. Otherwise, no. Because my hair's so dark, I never really got to do dyeing or anything. Like I dyed it purple once, but it was just you couldn't even tell. So I never really did anything like stupid. What about you?
I mean,
what about lately? Have you done any like fun
but I did for it. I mean, fuck you, first of all. But I did for a time have like luscious hockey hair, like just incredible flow. You know, with the little flip and stuff, like the helmet flip.
Yep.
Kinda.
I 100% had that.
When I was young and beautiful, I had that for a bit. I normally though had shortish hair, like, you know, the Caesar when that was in, I had that for a bit, and then like, yeah, I'm normally just kind of short-ish, something kind of relatively easy to maintain. When I was in theater school, I had a bit of like a swoop kind of thing, not dissimilar to yours, but not curly because my hair doesn't really curl. But
does your hair not curl?
But yeah, for the most part. Well, I mean, now it doesn't do anything, but yeah, no, I never had like a really weird, gross haircut as a kid. I just had an old haircut. Like when I was in elementary school, I just had like a cute side part thing. I just looked like an accountant. Like
that's adorable.
You know what I mean?
I did for like
I never looked as unloved as Guy Gardner did.
For like a year and or not even like for maybe like 3 months in high school, I tried to do a center part with my hair. That was the thing that I tried to get away with for a bit. Yeah, no, it did not work. It was not a good look.
The JTT. You were too old for that by that point.
Yeah, 100%. It's like 2002. Yeah, I was too old for it, and it did not look good. I was trying to figure things out. Because I was like, how do I? If I don't have the Caesar, what do I have?
Who am I?
I had the Caesar from like, I would say probably like 1996 on. So that was like the haircut. That was like,
I had it for a while. It was a
yeah.
defining haircut for a while. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. From the Lantern Cast. Sure. Oh, wow. I bet they've got some stuff to say. How many times is Chad Volkman going to tell you to fuck off?
I don't know why. I don't know why that would happen. Chad was Chad and Martin both vocal promoters of the voting rounds that included Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner. Of course, I'm thrilled that they managed to get Guy Gardner in as the theme for today. I love that. I would never say, for example, fuck you, Bokelman.
There's blood coming out of your ears.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
The Lantern Cast asks, how do you feel about how Guy Gardner was portrayed dual wielding Red and Sapphire in War of the GLs? Cheesy? Made sense for Guy? Some combination of both?
Yeah. So this is there's this moment where the different corpsmen, like the sort of core four of the core, like Hal, John, Kyle, and Guy, are all wielding different colored rings, and they're trying to break open like the central power battery or something like that. They're trying to free Parallax, I think.
Yeah.
For whatever they're trying to achieve in this particular story. And like Kyle's wearing a blue ring, and John is wearing an indigo, and Hal is wearing a Sinestro Corps ring, and Guy is wearing a Red Lantern ring. And they're pouring on all the energy they can, but they can't break through, and they decide they need the other colors of the spectrum. And instead of other people coming in, Hal dual wields greed and fear, so orange and yellow, and it sort of splits the color down the half of his uniform. It's pretty cool. But the real cool one is Guy doing red and violet or Star Sapphire. And what's neat about that is that in the lore of the emotional spectrum, the further out from the center you get, the more extreme the emotion is. So the center is will, and then you move out a little bit and you've got fear on one side and hope on the other side. And then you're moving out a bit, and then it's greed or selfishness and compassion or, selflessness. And then on the far ends, you have rage and love. And so Guy is wielding those two, and he's having a hard time actually like channeling any kind of constructs and stuff out of the Sapphire one until he discovers what is the thing that he loves. And it's not like, I mean, he loves his girlfriend, but that's not like his source of love. It's his love for the core. The sort of story thing there is that he loves the Green Lanterns. Like, they're his family, to quote Dominic Toretto. He's sort of ride or die with the Green Lantern Corps, and he summons that, and it allows him to dual wield these complete opposite ends of the emotional spectrum. It's a really cool moment. They kind of don't show you really at all what's happening to Hal with the greed and fear thing, because it's sort of irrelevant, because Guy is being a real boss in that moment, wielding these extremely powerful, difficult to control emotions, ones that could easily override him. It's a cool moment for Guy and a cool moment of growth, because again, Guy's a guy who he has an easy time letting the rage out, because it's that sort of toxic masculinity thing, right? But actually tapping into what he loves, that's a cool character beat, a cool moment for him. I think it works. I don't think it's cheesy at all. We're talking about like characters whose literal powers are based in emotions. Like, if we are counting them tapping into or expressing their emotions as cheesy, then like you got to throw the whole book out. Like,
fair. Yeah.
Also, I saw you shake your head when I brought up the La Familia and the Torettos. I'd appreciate it if you never did that
again. This is like invading your life, and it's affecting your work.
I disagree. I think it's making it better.
Hashtag justice for Ham.
Yeah. Yeah. I write my copy quarter mile at a time now.
It's been a long week at my job, my friends.
Yeah, you can have any copy you want as long as it's Corona.
This is becoming a problem.
Should we start a Fast and Furious podcast? Okay, sorry. This is just the last little sidebar. I've just discovered, I'm sure lots of people already know about it. I just discovered this podcast called Too Fast, Too Forever. And the podcast is they just watch and review and discuss Fast and Furious movies. And when they finish, they go back and do it again. Like they never stop doing it. They keep putting out episodes and they just keep going back through.
No, we've got to do the thing where it's like you just like do like 5 minutes at a time.
Oh yeah,
or like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Oh God, the things I could say.
All right, how about this? When we get to 200 reviews, we'll start a mini series for the Fast and the Furious.
Oh my God, 2 Doctor 2 DC.
Oh my God. I mean, there you go. We got a name. That's halfway there.
I mean, that's how we started the other 2 podcasts.
That's true. All right, let's go to the next question from Jesse Stewart.
Oh, Jesse.
Who asks...
Wait, that's not the Jesse we do that for.
We do it for every Jesse.
Oh, sorry, Jesse.
That's right. Jesse Stewart.
You're the man now, dog.
Oh God, I'm so glad that you heard that the other day.
Oh God, that killed me.
Lock the door if you're coming in. All right, Jesse Stewart asks, who is the Green Lantern in Justice League 3001? That looks like a female version of Guy Gardner. How did she come to exist?
Okay, so Justice League 3001. I'm pretty sure you have a volume of this. Do you not?
I do.
Did you end up reading it? Because I think no. You got 2 copies of it because I got one. This is when you were back, like in Ontario.
Yeah.
A while ago. Did you never ended up reading?
No,
it?
Not yet. No.
So the general principle of that book, or the premise rather, is that it's a far future in which there isn't a legion of superheroes, but in this particular future, they try and bring back the Justice League through advanced kind of cloning and genetics, but they always get something wrong. They think that they could just use the genes of superheroes to bring them back, and they always fuck it up. So in the case of Superman, they managed not only to like clone them, but also like get a bunch of their memories and stuff. But for Superman, they fuck it up, and he's too like proud and aggressive. He's not evil, but he doesn't have like the kindness in him.
He's a proud boy.
He's kind of like a... Well, I was trying not to use those words, but for Batman, he doesn't have the memory of his parents' death, so he's just rich and like he's like, oh, this is great. And a bunch of them are like that. In the case of Green Lantern, they start with a clone version of Hal, who is wearing this cloak made of willpower energy, but every time he uses his powers, it drains like his life force. So then the people at Project Cadmus, they try to bring back Guy Gardner, and they implant Gardner's genes into a female host body. And then I can't remember which way it's going, but one of the sets of genes in there is starting to overwrite the other. So it's either that Guy Gardner is in this woman's body and then the woman's personality is taking over more and more, or it's the other way around. I think it's the former. But that's sort of the premise with that version of Guy Gardner from Justice League 3001. Pretty sure this is like a Giffen DeMatteis sort of book. Yeah, that's essentially the premise. So now you have all the bravado and machismo in that, but now in this female body, Guy still saying kind of his like sort of misogynist stuff, and then being like, fuck, damn it, I'm on the other side of this now. Like,
look at my nice tits.
Yeah, I mean, almost, right? Like,
yeah.
It's. I think it's funny. It's like a nice way to riff on that particular era of Guy and that particular, like, those particular personality traits of guys. I think it's a fun way to play with those. But ultimately, that series didn't go overly long.
Yeah.
maybe like 12 or 16 issues or something like that. So there's not a ton of that guy Gardner, but that's basically what's happening there.
He's got a particular set of grills.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I pitch you stuff, I sort of pitch it with the understanding that it'll be used well.
Well done. What's worse is there's a delay. So that pause was like deafeningly long.
That's why I loved messing with you when we recorded the Ghost Facers, just pretending that there was a crazy delay.
That was really upsetting.
I know.
All right. Next question comes from Alexander the Alex, who asks, what's your favorite version of Guy? GL, Warrior, Red Lantern, or something else I'm not aware of?
Right. So some of this came up actually last week when we were talking about 0 Hour. There's a whole era for Guy Gardner where he's not a Green Lantern. He gets kicked out of the Corps. He challenges Hal to a fight, and he's like, whoever loses resigns, and Hal beats the shit out. Well, Hal rope-a-dopes him. Guy like is beating the crap out of Hal, and everyone's like, what's happening? And then Jon Stewart kind of like is like, oh, I see what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And Hal rope-a-dopes him and beats him and takes his ring, kicks him out. And then Guy goes on this crazy quest. First, he just starts trying to vigilante with guns. That doesn't work. He ends up with, I think, Sinestro's power ring, like the Quardian yellow power ring for a bit. And he uses that for a while. And then during 0 Hour, this is the bit where we start getting this Vuldarian thing. He has the armor that can manifest weapons and that. And then after that, it's just like a power in him, genetically being part Vuldarian, that he can like, yes, summon basically weapons out of himself kind of thing. So that's a whole era for him until basically like Hal comes back to life in, what was that, 2006 or something? And then he gets to be a Green Lantern again. And then he goes undercover in the Red Lanterns. He ends up taking down Atrocitus and taking over the Red Lantern Corps. And that was a whole series called Red Lanterns. I actually really enjoyed that series. And to me, I actually think that's my perfect version of Guy. He's had these moments of emotional growth through other series. By this point, he's already done the dual wield thing. He's been a Green. He's been out on his own. He's been Vuldarian, all these kind of things. I kind of like that Red Lantern one where all of a sudden he's in charge, and he's in charge of like one of the most dangerous sets of people in the universe, and he has to turn them into like a force for good. They end up guarding Sector 2814, like where Earth
2814.
Yeah. Yeah, he becomes the Javert of that sector. And it's kind of, I think it's interesting. He has to actually mentor people and teach them and be accountable and responsible, but he's still engaging that, like, the rage in him and things like that. Like, he's not perfect or anything. I think it's fascinating. It's such a good version of Guy Gardner. It's such a good fit for him. I kind of wish he was still a Red Lantern. I know eventually all these characters come back around to sort of their neutral setting, which for him is being a Green Lantern. But there's a part of me that really wishes he was still a Red. I think that's how I feel about that.
Nice. All right. Next from Doug Kane, who asks, which version of Guy's origin, pre-crisis, post-crisis, new 52, or current continuity, do you think is the best for the character?
Right. There's slight variations in his origin story between these different things. Some things are retcons, and some things are from the get-go, and some of them are continuity changes when, like, after Flashpoint and stuff like that. So forgive me if I don't keep them all straight, but I did, before recording this episode, go back and read his first appearance. I wanted to at least do that. And in his first appearance in Green Lantern 59, the idea is that Hal is made aware that when Abin Sur died and his ring found Hal, and Hal was chosen to be a Green Lantern, it didn't choose him because he was the best. It chose him because he was one of two of the identical best and like least fearful people on the planet. And Hal was geographically closer. And so he got selected. And we sort of go into this what if sort of story about what if it had selected the other person who was a perfect candidate. And that person is Guy Gardner. And that Guy Gardner, he's like a phys ed teacher, like in a school. He's in good shape, but he's like well spoken. He's not like other than being a gym teacher, it doesn't feel like the guy we know, right? Like the rough and tumble, like crack a few beers, like you little piece of shit, or whatever he would call a student or something like that. He's like an actual professional, normal human. And you sort of watch him be this honorable Green Lantern and things like that in this what if story. And then after that, in subsequent issues, then Hal and Guy start forming a friendship, and Guy gets the opportunity to actually join the Corps and things like that. But he's totally different. So that's who he is there. Some retcons and different versions later include that like his brother, I think, was like a cop, and Guy was kind of going down this bad path until his cop brother beat him up, because that's the only tool a cop has. And he kind of like sets him on the right path and shit like this. And then he later learns that his brother was a dirty cop, but he's like, well, fuck this noise kind of thing. I think in the New 52, Guy himself becomes a cop. And then when he's sort of accidentally responsible for a bunch of civilian deaths because he's a cop, then he kind of leaves that behind. So it's always variations on a theme, right? I think they always tie like the phys ed thing back in, where it's like, yeah, maybe he left being a cop, he goes back to do that. He's worked as a social worker and stuff like that. My favorite version, I think, is, I don't know that I needed him to be a cop like in the New 52 one. I kind of liked the idea that it was just like his brother was a cop, his dad is a piece of shit, and he picks himself up and comes out of it, partly from his brother's help and partly because he doesn't want to end up like his brother or his dad or things like that. Like, I think that's a pretty rich backstory for Guy, and I think it works well, and I think it's a good like supported source for all of his like rage and emotional issues and all those kind of things. Like, I just think it makes sense. I think that's probably my favorite version of his origin.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from the fanciest haunted house, Shebu.
Wait, you got into Shebu?
Yeah, that's right. People are dying to get in there.
That was pretty funny.
I'm proud of that one.
I like that one.
It's our cute Halloween jokes. That's what we're bringing to the table.
Yeah. God, I can't wait for October.
Let's get through Eatgist first.
Sure. Of
all
course.
Right.
Sorry.
From Shebu, they ask, what was the first story arc or book you read with Guy in it? Also, what are your thoughts on Guy/Ice? They seem like a pairing I don't hear a lot of people mention or hear their thoughts on.
Well, let's start with you, Richard. Have you ever read a story that includes Guy Gardner?
Not that I can think of. I feel like at least everything you've given me or that I've read on my own has mostly been Hal or John. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything I specifically can think of with Guy in it.
I mean, you've definitely, he would have been like in the mix in something like Blackest Night.
Yeah, I was just going to say Blackest Night, but
you're not really following him in that story, or at least not in that particular trade. You're not. Probably a similar sort of thing with Final Crisis, right? Like he's
in the background,
certainly in there, but you're not really following him. God, what would my first exposure to Guy Gardner be? It's probably relatively recent, I would say. It's probably something like GL Rebirth or something like that. I don't know that I all of the Silver Age comics that I had or were reading or things like that I got, I don't think I had any Guy Gardner issues. I wasn't really reading JLI until way later when I got back into comics. When I got back into comics, I was just trying to read kind of these a lot of that sort of Jeff Johnsian, like, we're bringing back the characters your dad liked sort of thing. So like GL Rebirth was part of that, and Flash Rebirth, and all those kind of pieces, right? So it's probably something like that. It's probably something like crazy recent. As for Guy and Ice, we've talked a little bit about Ice.
Yeah.
Her name is Tora Olafsdottir. She's Norwegian. She has ice powers.
Tora Dora off gear. Clap, clap, clap. Sing it. Yes, Chico G.
Wow. I haven't heard that in forever. It's gonna be stuck in my head all night now.
I wonder is that a Canadian thing, or does everybody play that?
It's just like a camp song, right? Like a camp, like patty cake kind of game, right? Like
I got it. I heard it the very first time in grade, I want to say 3. I think I saw it. Kids in the playground playing it.
Yeah, but it's one of those like you're like hitting hands in a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the line "S Chico Chico" always never sat right with me.
I thought it was S Tigo Tigo.
Oh, I heard we said Chico Chico.
Oh, maybe we have regional variants of
yeah, literally, like, I mean, at the time I was living in Hamilton, so literally like an hour away, not even
it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So Ice, Tora Olafsdottir, she's one half of Fire and Ice, and they always played that duo as Fire is Bea da Costa. She's Brazilian. She's sexy. Her powers are fire. She's muy caliente. Even though that's not Portuguese. I'm sorry.
That just sounds like the character I made when we did the Wendy's role-playing game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so that kind of thing. She's like sexually liberated on these things. And then Tora was always this like nice, quiet, she's like the snow queen. She's Norwegian. She's very pleasant kind of thing. But she has this like long-standing on again, off again relationship with Guy Gardner, and I think it works in the way that those things sometimes happen, where someone with this kind of big, bombastic, aggressive personality,
Mr. Fantastic,
and and someone who is like a bit more reserved and things like that kind of pair off, like the opposites attract sort of thing. I do think Tora kind of brought out better qualities in Guy, and I think Guy is someone who doesn't take crap too. So where Tora might try to avoid conflict, Guy's very good at confronting it. So I do think they're each bringing something to the table there. There's sort of like a heartbreaking little thing in, I think it's in that Red Lantern series where Guy tries to get them back together, and Tora says like, listen, like we had good times, and she's like, of course we had good times. We would have good times again. That's not the problem. The problem is the bad times. And it's like, oh man, it's so sad when people are like, yeah, we're great together, and we're also the worst thing for each other.
I think that's how my wife describes our relationship.
Oh God.
I mean, you and I.
Sorry. I was going to say, I think she's the Guy Gardner.
I mean, yeah, which is saying something when you consider me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not much of an ice, if I'm being honest.
Ice to see you, baby.
But next to me, I'm a fire.
Yeah. Aye.
Yeah. Wearing my cool Toretto. What do we call these now? We can't call them wife beaters. What do we call these now?
Tank tops?
Undershirt? That doesn't sound right. Maybe we can call them Dom shirts.
Oh.
No, I think that means something else. Never mind.
I think that's every shirt we wear.
I heard it as soon as I said it.
No, we're subs. What am I talking about?
I'm normally wearing a sub shirt, yeah.
Yeah. And by that, you just mean that there's like sandwich pieces all over it.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Dom shirt and sub pants.
All right, next question comes from Cristo Spiritus Santos.
Oh, hey, like Jesus?
Yeah, holy shit. Who asks, okay, so you're not a big Guy fan. That don't impress me
Slander. Never
much.
said that.
My question is, what are the elements of his character that don't work for you? And if you were willing to give him a solo book, what changes would you make to the character and story to elevate him?
Oh, I mean, first of all, I never said that I didn't like Guy Gardner. I don't know where people are getting this idea from.
No, of course not.
Famously, I'm always a Guy's corner, defending him against the people that irrationally dislike such a nuanced character.
Of course.
What are the elements that don't work for me? All of those things about him being an asshole and that do work because you eventually come back to him either fighting his own demons or being uncomfortable with his own emotions. And because he's part of this Lantern Corps mythos, eventually confronting those emotions and moving past them and dealing with them becomes part of his growth. And you could physically manifest them with him wearing different rings, like wearing a blue ring or wearing a red ring or something like that. Like it's a very blunt metaphor, but I think it works really well with Guy. The piece that doesn't work for me is when they take all of these negative emotions or negative things and him talking bad to women and stuff like that, and they go, we need a reason why he's like that so that people will like him. And they go, what if he had brain damage? And you go like, so now you're conflating like physical trauma with just these personality things. Like you're either saying like, well, we just gotta let him stare at Power Girl's chest because
boys will be boys.
Well, because the brain damage, let him have this, or we're saying like people that go through trauma are instantly bad. Like either way, the message is pretty bad. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the piece that doesn't work for me. Just make him an asshole. Like the idea that like he had been in the Phantom Zone and then he had his mind wiped and he had like actual brain trauma. Like there's a whole thing in Justice League International where he's the mean Guy Gardner and then Batman punches him and he becomes very sweet. And it's like, I don't think that's the play. Like, I mean, that is funny. It's legitimately funny turn in that book. But like when you think of the wider implication and the fact that even his meanness was meant to be like a similar kind of trauma, that's, I think, a problem. I think he would be better if that wasn't in there and it's just how he is because of his upbringing and stuff like that. I mean, that's its own kind of trauma, but I just mean it's not like a King Tut situation where he hits his head and he's like, I'm like this now. Like I think that's my problem with it. So if I was going to give him a solo series, I mean, if that hasn't been retconned out already, because I don't know that I've kept track closely enough to see, I would retcon that out.
For sure. And what about changes you would make to the character and story to elevate him?
I think I'd make him a Red Lantern again, definitely. But I think I'd make him a Red Lantern and then keep him on Earth and not like try to lead the Red Lanterns, right? Like maybe he gets just like a rogue Red Lantern ring kind of thing. And then he's just heroing on Earth. I think I'd do something like that with him, where he there's in that issue that I've talked about with him and Tora, he has this whole thing where he's like, I can prove that I can solve this problem without punching it. And I think you just extrapolate that little moment into like, what does it mean to be Guy Gardner as a Rage Lantern on Earth dealing with Earth crimes, not these big cosmic things where it's like, I still get to use all my power and unleash it. You actually have to manage your rage, not just point it,
like Superman.
Yeah, like I think that's what I would do with that. It would be like him like running his bar and stuff, but also being a Red Lantern and like going around New York City and like stopping crimes kind of thing.
I mean, you agree his bar should be in Boston though, right?
It does feel well. And he's from Baltimore, which I think is even better.
Yeah.
Oh, you just do The Wire. Make him a Red Lantern and do The Wire.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Solved.
Yeah.
All right. Next question doesn't come from Greg Great. It's from Greg Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't pay my Greg fine. Is there going to be a Greg fee?
Greg Fine asks, if you had to order something from the Warriors bar, what would it be, and how would you tip your handsome ginger barkeep?
I think it's how much would you tip? I know that you read that question as how would you tip them, and I know that's exciting for you, but that's not exactly what was being asked. Yeah, so his bar, he runs a bar called Warriors that's essentially like a Planet Hollywood sort of restaurant, but it's superhero themed. Not only is it superhero themed, but it also tends to cater to like the metahuman population. There was a restaurant on Earth, I think in Baltimore, unless I'm getting that wrong. And he also had one on Oa. Like he opened a Warriors on Oa that Green Lanterns would go to and stuff like that.
Oh my, of course.
But it has like superhero memorabilia and stuff like that.
Oh, it's literally a Planet Hollywood.
I tried to look to see if there was like a canonical Warriors menu somewhere. I didn't see anything come up. It might have happened at one point, but try to imagine a Planet Hollywood type thing that's set in DCU. What would you order? What do you think would be like a meal you could get there that you would want?
Ooh, okay.
Or a drink or something, just something custom. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like anything that you got supersized would have to like you'd be like, oh, can I get that supersized? And then it would literally just like come with a tiny little cape on it, and they'd make it like green.
Like kryptonite. Oh my god, that's so dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can picture is that it's just that like that the one the like Alex Ross like book.
Kingdom Come. Yeah,
Kingdom Come.
Right.
Yeah, I just pictured like that diner.
Is that literally a Warriors at the end of that, or is that just something else that's
it doesn't
the same
say
idea?
it, but it's the same idea, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I think like the onion rings they'd be like lassos of onion or something like that. Like
wait, not green, like not the rings from Green Lanterns?
No, I think it would be like I think it would be like it would be like their signature thing. Instead of the bloomin' onion at Outback, be like, oh man, you got to get the lassos of onion. It would just be like they put a bunch of onions into one giant long onion ring that they fry or something. They bring it out to the table.
Jesus Christ.
I can see it being gimmicky like that, right? Like, yeah.
Do you think all the chairs are Plastic Man?
Yeah, he works some long shifts there.
For some reason, his face is always the seat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, God, I think what you'd get, like if you ordered like a fish burger or something like that, they'd bring it out on like a plate that sort of operated like a Billy Bass thing that was like, Aquaman, why wouldn't you save me? It would like always talk to you while you were eating it or something. Like I think it would just be very kitschy, very stupid, almost like going to Margaritaville kind of thing.
Oh my God. If that was really existed though, like how much would you like just live there?
What, Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be there all the time. I'd be there forever. That's like 100% my jam. I love a shitty, tacky restaurant with bad nachos. Like I used to go to Margaritaville when I lived in Niagara. Like,
really? They had one there?
Garbage restaurant. The service sucks. The food is bad, but every 20 minutes, Jimmy Buffett comes on a screen and a giant like animatronic like bottle like tips and pours, and the whole restaurant sings Margaritaville. It's perfect.
Serious? Oh my God, that's crazy. What about Rainforest Cafe?
See, but that's trying to be too elevated. Like it's got a gimmick, but they're like, but isn't it fun? It's like you're eating a nice meal in the rainforest. Margaritaville is like throw your glass on the ground when you're done with it. I'm Jimmy Buffett, god damn it. Like
fair. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's open that restaurant.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go to our next platform, which means that we are leaving Twitter and heading on over to the Discord.
Oh,
so you just do your song now. You just sing the song now.
Okay, here I've got it. Discord. Do 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 do. Discord. Do 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 do.
That's the song. You didn't want to do like you literally have Margarita in your back pocket.
Oh yeah, I could have done Margaritaville. Oh well. What movie is it where they make a ripoff of that and it's called Pina Colada Burg?
Oh,
is that Club Dread?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
What a bad movie. Oh man,
what a weird movie. Yeah,
Pretzel, get your twisted salty ass out here.
Wasting away again in all the Discord.
Oh, there it is.
All right. First question from the Discord comes from our favorite spacey, sexy texter.
Ooh, Cosmic DM. Some people call him a Cosmic DM.
Oh my god. He's a Cosmic Dom.
Oh. Toretto?
Stop. You know that's not the Dom I'm thinking of.
That's the only Dom I'm thinking of.
I mean, yeah, it's the only Dom that you're going to be associated with.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, the reason why you're a sub is just because you heard of the sandwich and got excited.
Yeah, I could be that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like subs.
Count me in.
Yeah. Call me.
You're gonna do what to my throat?
As long as a sandwich comes after it. Cosmic DM asks, why do you love Guy Gardner?
I mean, all of the reasons I've mentioned above.
Moving on.
I mean, I think it's because he's like, okay, I'm gonna quote our dear friend Josh Gill.
Oh, sexy Gill.
Who sent me talking points about this. He kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Wait, did Josh write your, like, is this your apology tour?
Yeah.
I just have something I need to read here.
Okay. So here's the thing that we were talking about. We were talking
in
about
your own words.
Today. I will, but I said I said Guy is like the guy in the sports movies. He's on the team and he's a real asshole to the other people on the team, but he'll beat the shit out of the other team if they're being assholes. Kind of like the only I get to do that to these guys sort of guy. And then Josh wrote back, and this is what blew my mind. He wrote back, he's Dean.
No.
And then he wrote, piece of shit. Check. Scumbag, check. Brawler, check. Drinker, check. Talks a big game, but isn't actually a womanizer, check. First in, last out, check. Fight for his friends and family without question, check. Heart of solid gold, check. And I was like, oh my God, is he Dean?
Oh my God. Now I don't know. I can't. Either I love Guy Gardner or hate Dean now.
Dean also has a terrible childhood with lots of emotional trauma.
Oh, what happened?
He wants a better life, but doesn't know how to get that for himself. He doesn't think he's deserving of it. There's I think a lot of evidence to support the if you like Dean, you should like Guy kind of camp.
Oh no. Did that swing you?
Oh, listen, of all the things that swing me. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a very fair assessment, and
yeah.
I stand by that. He's the guy who will be so rude to you, but only because you're part of the same team. As soon as someone outside that circle, outside like the circle of who's earned it, is rude to you, he's like, well, what the fuck is this? And they'd be like, but you just, and he's like, yeah, you don't get to fucking do that. And I kind of like that about him. He's definitely like, he cares about the core. They're his family. Even the ones that he dislikes the most get his respect, and he'll lay his life on the line for them against anyone else.
Wow. God, now I've got really complicated feelings now.
You're gonna have to read some Guy Gardner now, I think.
Oh, I don't. Oh no. Okay. I mean, if he suddenly had a brother that they were gonna go fight crimes together, maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that question before about how I would pitch a series. So he has a long lost brother, and then they have to team up. And they each get a different colored ring. Yeah. His brother gets a compassion ring, an indigo ring, and he's got the red lantern orange ring.
You know who I want to pitch to play Guy Gardner in a movie? Bill Burr.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're playing like all of the Corpsmen as being older, you're at 100%. Yes, absolutely right. That is exactly it. Someone's going to run their mouth. I mean, it would literally be Bill Burr's arc from like Mando, right?
Yeah.
He's going to run his mouth. He's had a hard life and shit. But as soon as like he's up against true evil or true badness, he's like, he'll do the right thing and he takes a stand. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. Next question from Bruno, who asks, if Guy's bar is like a hero's equivalent of a sports bar, what sort of shows are always on the TV there? Reruns of old battles, superhero news channels. How different is mass media in the DC universe?
I mean, that's a awesome question. I don't think news is on. That doesn't feel like a Guy Gardner thing.
No.
Guy Gardner feels like a guy that sees a fire out a window and then goes to deal with it. He didn't like read about it. Like,
no.
But yeah, what do you think is playing on the TV? Do you think you just get normal sports, or do you think he's like broadcasting like metahuman fights, like roulette, like the roulette's sort of underground metahuman brawls and stuff?
I feel like he waits until like 10 p.m. and then he turns on like metahuman bum fights.
I do feel like, I mean, the idea of like footage of old battles is interesting because that would be like going to like a bar run by a firefighter and he's just playing the loop of the 9/11 attacks.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of like firefighter restaurants and bars and stuff. I've never seen that.
But you know what I mean? Like those events are like, even if you win, like there's collateral damage. Like you shouldn't be like going like, let's take the family to Warriors, and then you go and you see the Battle of Metropolis during Infinite Crisis. Be like, remember when the sky opened up and we saw 100 other Earths? Like,
crazy time.
Like, just like reopening trauma for all of these people seems really mean.
Oh yeah, you see that part right there? You see that part right there? Oh, fucking dead, all of them. That whole family's dead. Yeah, what a fight.
Anyway, you want more lassos of onion? I do think he would have, like, you'd get like the charity races between like Superman and Flash. I think that would be on, you know, if that was happening, that'd be on TV. I think you'd get like classic football and stuff like that too. Maybe he'd be playing like old Victor Stone, like college football games, like for his buddy and stuff like that. But I think generally you got to stay away from replays of actual superhero battles.
Though I do think that there would probably be like an economy of like people who were trying to get to like upper echelon of like superhero teams, and so maybe there's like a ring of like underpowered people who are like doing like underground fighting and things like that, like a UFC for like minor powers and things like that.
Or like that thing from Army of the Dead, the guy who's like on TikTok killing the zombies, but it'd be like a D or E list meta who's like stopping small bodega crimes and something and like filming it.
Yeah, it's like YouTube videos that are on the TV. That's what it would be.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to see how Juggle Jimmy takes out this fucking perp here.
You say Juggle Jimmy?
Yeah.
I thought you said Jungle Jimmy, and I was like, oh my god, get out.
Yeah, he slides into crime. Jungle Jimmy, like a jungle gym. Because that's
a jungle gym is not a jungle gym is not a slide. A jungle gym is like the monkey bars and the climbing pieces and stuff.
Yeah,
like
what's always attached to those?
Come on, man, let's just go to
the whole thing is called a jungle gym. It's not just the parts that you swing on.
If you get a really good one, it's called a Jungle James.
Oh, I feel like that's a thing that you have to pay extra for.
They call me Jungle James.
That seems problematic.
Q Pony by Genuine.
Wow. Jump on it, my pony.
Oh, what a sexy song.
It's true. All right. Next question comes from Butt Fart Butt, who asks, out of all the ring bearers, who has the best chance of out drinking Guy?
Oh, right. I mean, all the ring bearers is talking like every lantern of every corps. Or are we just talking of like, the human ones?
I mean, technically, they just say ring bearers.
I mean, Guy could probably drink a bunch of aliens under the table, but you got to assume that at a certain point, an alien physiology is just going to be better equipped than Guy's, right? Like, for example, like Sodom Yat, he's a Daxamite. He's essentially like got Superman powers. He could definitely outdrink Guy, but
they also may break down alcohol differently, right? Like alcohol might be a fuel source potentially.
But like, does Superman can't get drunk? So no. I'm going to assume that applies to him. But of like the human lanterns, let's say, who do you think's got the best shot of out drinking Guy Gardner?
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, really? The army guy?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, growing up in the army, like, I mean, those guys, like, way more than like some fucking blue collar fucking cop piece of shit. Like, I think that
I was gonna say Hal.
Oh yeah, Hal too. All of them.
Because I think Hal is the sort of guy that goes to a bar and he buys a drink for himself and a drink for a woman he wants to hit on. And every time, even if he's rejected, he still finishes his drink before he orders another 2 drinks and tries again.
Yeah. That's very funny.
Yeah. Okay, Jon Stewart. I mean, John's probably got like the discipline to push through. I think Simon Baz is out. I don't think he could do it. I don't think Kyle Rayner could do it.
No.
I think I don't know that there's canonical evidence to support this, but I feel like Jessica Cruz can hold it together. You know, she dealt with anxiety and stuff. They never really touch on the idea that her like agoraphobia or her anxiety is really like leads to like a substance abuse thing or anything like that. But I've got a little headcanon that she has probably spent a few nights drinking to try and calm her nerves. I feel like Hal or Jessica is probably the closest to taking on Guy, I would say, for a drinking contest.
What, not Dex Star?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, I mean, you give a cat anything other than its regular diet, it's immediately throwing up. And in the case of Dexter, it throws up that blood plasma thing, just eats through the floor.
I don't know what it was. I think it might have been either watermelon or strawberries or something today. But I came home at lunch really quickly and just dropped off my wife, and then I left, and I didn't actually go inside the house, and then I got a call literally like a half a block away, and the dog had just had diarrhea over the entire house.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But there was like bits of like red chunks all over it that were like fruit.
Oh, God damn it.
So I had to come home and help clean up the entire thing. Yeah.
Is that Earl?
Yeah, obviously. Who else would it be?
Buddy.
Yeah. Next question. From the other Ryan, they ask, hey, Dr. DC, is Guy Gardner just compensating for a small dick?
I will have you know that in preparation for this, I did Google superheroes dick sizes ?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's already like a hotkey, right? It's like bookmarked.
Well, yeah. I mean, I search it at least once a day anyway, so I was going to do it, but just because it feels like one of those things where, like, you know, sometimes people just keep track of canonical references to like height or something, and you get like a definitive height chart of heroes from Marvel or DC. I was like, I wonder if someone did this because it's comedy, and they might have, but I didn't find it.
Oh, well, you know what that sounds like? An opportunity.
I'm gonna say though that Guy's got a lot of, you know, emotional issues. He's covering a lot of stuff up with his bravado, and he is definitely a run your mouth guy, and his bark is worse than his bite, I think. Mm-hmm. However, I'm not sure that I believe that it's because he doesn't trust in his hug. Like, I'm willing to bet that like Guy is emotionally stunted and all of these things, but when he drops his pants. He's just got an absolute wrench down there.
Really? Guy's packing a unit.
I think so.
Wow.
I think Guy's got schlong.
Wow, he's got some big dick energy, is what you're saying.
As opposed to Schlort.
Is that another Green Lantern?
Schlort. Yeah. He has to wear his ring on his fingers because it just won't.
This feels like a Chewbacca's family member situation. Is that just Gnort's family member? Gnort and Schlort.
Yeah, that's
My son's also.
I'm going to say
Schlort.
I believe canonically, Guy Gardner is like at least a 9 or 10 incher. I think.
Whoa, packing heat.
I think so.
Good Lord, gulp. All right, let's go to the next question.
That's always your answer whenever dicks come up is to gulp.
Sorry, do you want me to Schlort?
Please.
Schlorted it up. All right, next question from the Nerd Funds, who asks, does Guy Gardner now properly manscape? Oh God, okay, maybe this is his face. Or did his experimentation during his Red Lantern days with facial hair cement his wild growth approach?
Yeah, I think to go with his canonical hug, I think when he was a Red Lantern, I think he also had trucker pubes. So he had the trucker mustache, but just over his dick, I think.
Nice.
That's my opinion. I don't think he just went like full bush. I think he went for comedy. I could see Guy Gardner going for comedy with his pubes.
Like cutting it into like an arrow pointing down.
Yeah. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
It really got you.
I think it's because there was a point in my life when I thought that those stupid fucking like the Man the Legend t-shirts were so funny. Like when I was like 17.
I had one.
It was like I had one that had arrows pointing to your arms that said, if you like my guns, check out my rocket, and then an arrow down.
Oh my God. Actually, to be fair,
you could sell it. You could sell a teenager basically anything.
Oh yeah. I believe that it wasn't my shirt. It was my brother. It was his shirt. The one who listens to this podcast.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's very funny. Okay. Next question.
So like the question. No, hang on. Like the question about the haircuts. Tell me about your craziest pube cut.
I've never cut.
Did you also have frosted tips and a Caesar?
No, but now I want to.
Yeah, like your pubes were the 6th member of NSYNC.
Yeah. That's incredible. No, I want the like ramen noodle hair that Justin Timberlake had.
Oh God. Oh jeez Louise. Gross.
All right, next question. From once again, Mullet Overlord, the reviewer himself.
How did you get in here twice?
Yeah, it's because he reviewed and then he's asking a question. He reviewed. He gets to ask a question.
I don't know.
Setting a precedent.
Oh, did you not ask a question already?
No, it was just a review.
Oh, sorry. I thought we had already gotten to him.
No. It was just his review.
To get the fuck out of here. But
no. You know, he paid the toll. He's allowed to ask a question.
Yeah, there you go. Let that be a lesson to you all.
Yeah. You may also pay for the Patreon, but you also need to then review us to ask questions.
Yeah, you need to pay through multiple channels.
This podcast has taught you anything.
It's such a racket.
Yeah, you have to pay a monthly fee so that you're allowed to have access to pay it for our Patreon.
The privilege
Yeah.
of paying for our Patreon.
Exactly. Yeah. Mullet Overlord asks, do you think it says something about Guy that he has been able to master all of the 7 main rings except for greed, not counting indigo because the wielder isn't actually an active participant?
Yeah, I mean, I think trying to think here. Has he never wielded an orange one? Can't think of it offhand, so I'm just going to assume that's right. I do think it supports a lot of what we're saying about him, that he is, for all of his rage and fear and anxiety and how willful he is, and but that he also has this like hope for something better. He has love for the core. He has compassion for his friends. I do think generally we are supporting the idea that Guy is a selfless person, even though he can come across prideful and things like that. And he wants the glory and things like that. But I think truly he's more selfless than that. Now, is that to say that if there was ever a story where he had to wield an orange ring, it would undo all of that? Of course not. But there's something a little bit kind of poetic and lovely in that way, I think, to support Guy as a character. I mean, I do think probably Hal is a greedier person than Guy is. I mean, for example, Guy has never destroyed the core and tried to wipe out all of existence because his city got blown up. Hal has. And I mean, if that is... I mean, metaphorically in the story, it's a moment of fear for Hal, but it's also like a selfishness. It's a greed. I mean, he even says in Emerald Twilight, like, haven't I done everything you've ever asked for? I'm asking you for one fucking thing. Like, and I don't know the Guy has that, not to that degree, at least. I think it makes more sense for Hal to have had a little experience with the orange ring than Guy. Yeah, I do think it's significant. I also don't think it immediately undoes his character if the next story has him wield an orange ring. But for now, I do think it's kind of like a fun little detail. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Next question comes from the Bat Fan Who Laughs, who asks, would you like Guy Gardner if he remained as a Red Lantern?
Absolutely. I sort of feel this way about, I mean, I know this is not an opinion shared by everyone who's into the Lanterns, but I feel this way also about Kyle Rayner in that I want him to be the White Lantern again. I like Kyle Rayner as something special. And if that thing isn't Ion, and I kind of like Sodom Yada's Ion, and if that thing isn't like the Torchbearer because now the whole core is back or whatever, then like making Kyle a White Lantern was interesting. And I mean, especially considering that it's not even like Kyle is being featured in things right now. You don't even really have to come up with stories for him. Just make him a White Lantern and still don't write him, but in that similar way, I do think Guy works best as a Red Lantern. He has proven that he can steer the full Red Lantern Corps to a better purpose and a better version of their mission, but he's also just himself. What a great, interesting channel for his rage. He actually has to process emotions. Him having to dual wield the rage and the love rings is such the power that he demonstrates in order to wield those two at the same time is really something. I like Guy as a Red Lantern. I think that makes a lot more sense for him, and I think it's just more interesting than having to find positions for all of these Green Lanterns all the time, all the human Green Lanterns all the time.
Look at that. That is the last question, which means we did it relatively painlessly.
Well, I don't know why anyone would think it would be painful. I've been trying to get this episode off the ground for like 4 fucking years. No one has ever just let me do it. Be like, guys, come on, trust me. Guy is a great character. You would love him. So I hope all of you learned something here, that Guy is like a good character that you shouldn't just shit on out of turn.
Yeah, you've never like actively like worked to make sure that he didn't get voted in.
Why would I do that?
You didn't use
I'm
like multiple Twitter accounts to do that and still lose.
I've certainly never gaslit I've certainly never gaslit our entire audience into thinking that I felt one way about a character.
Oh God, no. That was not something you would do. Well, with that, it's time to move on to our favorite game. Time to play. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who's not read comic books can describe that character to us? Baby. If you don't know how to play this game, basically, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them. She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. The doctor tries to guess, based on these clues, what character did I send? I'm very excited for this one.
I'm ready. Okay. That almost certainly means I won't get it.
I'll say that the information that I read about this character might be the most batshit crazy shit I've ever read.
Okay. All right.
So there's a freebie for you. All right.
Okay.
Clue number 1. Looks racist.
Oh, God. Captain Nazi.
No.
Or Victor Zsasz.
No. Definitely not.
Next clue, please.
Next clue. Gangly and malnourished.
Gangly and malnourished and looks racist.
Yes.
Gangly and malnourished. It looks racist. It's not the plastic men from the Freedom Fighters series, is it?
No.
Mr. Bloom?
No.
Okay. All right. Next clue.
Clue number 3. Relative of Powder.
Upside Down Man?
No.
Looks racist. Gangly, malnourished. Relative of Powder.
Yeah.
Oh God, who looks like that? Last clue. Hit me up.
Last clue. Vampire jaw with an overbite. Gangly and malnourished. Relative of Powder. Looks racist. Vampire jaw with an overbite.
Okay, they're not white like Powder, but it's not like a Dominator or something like that.
No.
Is it like a white Martian?
No.
Is it Bith Rock?
No. Great name though.
Is it Overbite Vampire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this character a lantern?
No.
Okay. Looks racist, relative of Powder, malnourished and scrawny, and then the vampire overbite thing.
Yeah.
Well, shit, this is tough. It's not like one of the Apex Predator things from recently, like the Perpetua ones. It's not Apex Lex or something like that.
No.
Is it one of the 7 deadly sins or 7 deadly enemies of man?
No.
Shoot. People are probably screaming at me. I don't think I've got this one.
Do you want to look at the image?
It's not Dr. Death, is it?
No.
Is it Dr. Death?
No.
Okay, no.
You ready?
All right, hit me. Yeah, let's see it. What do we got here? I can't really see that one all that well. He's very white though. I can't really tell. It's just there's not enough definition there. Who is that? What do we got?
This is Hemogoblin.
Oh fuck! He's the one that gives people AIDS.
Yes. So I found this character. This kid, the
damn it!
DC
I should have guessed the
page.
fucking Hemogoblin.
The Hemogoblin was a vampire.
Gives people HIV. Yeah,
was a vampire created to help a white supremacy group eliminate non-whites. He is notably mainly he is mainly notable for infecting members of the New Guardians with HIV, the virus that caused AIDS. He was killed in battle with the T.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's craziest about that is that the Hemogoblin has come up on a previous episode, like years and years ago, like not recently, but we've talked about the Hemogoblin before. Oh,
insane, damn it. Insane character.
I know. What a crazy character.
Like, I like that he shows up and then, like, I don't know, like a year later he kills you.
Oh. I mean, you thought that Green Arrow story I gave you was heavy-handed.
Good God, I can't believe that's a character. It blows my mind.
Damn it, I'm upset by that. I should have figured out Hemogoblin. That's too bad.
Hemogoblin. And I mean, good clues.
But that's a great character name, though, too. Someone was clearly just looked at the word hemoglobin and misread it, and they were like, Hemogoblin, get me my editor.
Like, Dave, you realize this is a vampire, not a goblin, right?
Yeah, vampires don't usually put things into you.
Yeah, they usually take your blood, not add things to it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, so messed up. Like, I mean, add that to the pile of insane ideas in DC Comics history. That's up there with like Black Manta is going to take the oceans for black people because they get oppressed on land.
Incredible. I love that though. All right. Well, did any of you residents guess that? Let us know online, or maybe you can send us a question for next week's episode because we are back to regular episodes.
That's right. Send us a question for next week's episode. We're talking about Angor, aka Earth 8, aka the like Marvel pastiche universe. So this is the home of Lord Havoc and the Extremist, of American Crusader and the Retaliators. Send your questions about Earth 8 or Angor. We're talking that next week.
Awesome. And I am not going to attempt to do this back and forth because I'm gonna kill myself. Find us on all the platforms.
Yeah. Dr. DC podcast, baby.
Yeah. And make sure that you give us those 5-star reviews. We got one at the beginning of this episode. We love getting them. They help validate us, and that's really what this is all about.
Absolutely. And if you want to validate us even more, you can give us money. $1, $5, $7 on Patreon, patreon.com/DrDC. And that helps support us. And you get access to the Discord, our awesome Discord community. Plus, at the higher tiers, you get extra episodes, videos, theme polls, all sorts of fun stuff.
That's right. And if you want to even show us your love even more, you can send us some physical mail. The doctor received some today. We got some physical mail.
Actually, most of it is for you. Fun fact. But.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
That's incredible. So you can send us that mail to either Richard Eden or Reed Vanier at 301 Hogue Street. That's Hoge Street. Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, Y1A1V8. That's right. Send us your physical mails.
And last but not least, if you enjoy what we're doing here and you want to hear us thirst about different men, or if you liked our episode on Guy Gardner and you're like, who is this Dean person they were talking about, go check out our other podcast. It's Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch. We are going through every single episode of CW's Supernatural. There's 15 seasons of that show. We are on the precipice of finishing season 2, which is wild. We talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the production of the show. We talk about each episode and review it. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good times, and a lot of lusting over the Hot Guys Hot Show.
Oh yeah. All right, that is it for this week. Ciao, ciao.
Adios.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.